Hello and welcome everyone to the Worst Fans Podcast. I'm Victor Hernandez. That's my cousin. Rhett.
Yeah, right
That's my
here.
brother Marco, and we are here to talk about a lot of cool topics today. But first, Rhett, I spot something a little retro. Is it 1995 again? What's going on here? What is that?
Pretty much. So what we've got here, let's see if I can get this right, is a Sony Trinitron CRT 47-inch. Back in the day, this sucker was several thousands of dollars in the 90s. And why do I have it? Because I'm kind of realizing that, it's really hard to get your old retro consoles plugged up. There's conversion kits and stuff, but it's really nice to just plug in the good old-fashioned analog cables and play a Dreamcast, which is what I've got connected over there, or an Xbox. So I found this sucker. I just looked for I think I put in CRT TV in Facebook Marketplace, and I think this was the first one that popped up less than 20 miles away from me for a price tag of free. It's like, what? They're like, yep, it's big, it's heavy. If you could get out of my house, that's great. Like, does the picture work? Like, does it suck? No, it looks great. We just don't want it anymore. Okay, I'll be over. Went and got a buddy. We picked it up, and that was it. So now I've got, what used to be the best TV back in the day. You wouldn't want to do much more than play a console game on it, but yeah, it's not an unboxing. It's just there it is.
There
awesome
it is.
Ass retro TV.
Does your back hurt? 'Cause I know that shit was heavy.
My forearms definitely hurt. Yeah, I learned how to lift properly, not hurt my back anymore. But yeah, we had it on a dolly and rolled it around the house to get in the easiest way, and put it on a blanket, dragged it around, and when we got to right here, we had to heave-ho it to get it up there because it's pretty high up. So
nice.
Yeah, pretty good. It's
all right. Yeah, maybe one day you could actually just sample it just to see, because it's been a while since I actually seen one of those TVs.
It brings you back. There's something about it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
A lot of those same games you can get today, but because they're so HD and very the resolution's good, you can see the polygons of these old games and they just look like terrible. Whereas this TV, it softens it and it gives it almost texture. Like I was looking at one where trees look like on an HD TV, blocky, but over there they look like actual textured trees on an old Xbox game. I was playing Tony Hawk 2, NFL 2K1. Those are two games I played in college. My freshman year, this buddy of mine had a Xbox, a Dreamcast. He's the only guy I ever knew who had one. And we would sit there and play freaking Tony Hawk, wait for class to start. Let's go play some Tony Hawk. Okay, cool. I mean, just nice, good times, So I'm living my old days again,
Easier times. Good times.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll keep in with video games. Let's go a little more modern. Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, was lined up to come out next month. Not so fast. It got delayed. I believe till April 28th, right?
Yep.
Am I correct?
April 28th. You are correct.
It's not too bad.
Not horrible.
Hopefully there won't be any more pushbacks, but I mean,
there's a lot of reasons why a game would delay just for a month. It's probably just fixing up a little bit of graphical design or some little tweaking bug or fix that. I just want to make sure that it's all fixed before the game actually releases, which I'm happy about. Sense. So I'm not too upset.
Sure.
So I got my collector's edition. I'm like, my lightsaber, but no, it's okay.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you said
awesome edition,
Mark, you were happy because you said that at least now you get to play Hogwarts.
I do.
Because that comes out next month, so I know you're excited about that game, and that'll keep you busy till then. Right?
Absolutely. So Hogwarts is actually probably one of my more anticipated games this year because it was it was announced in 2021. Or forever, a long time ago.
I think it was longer than that,
yeah, late 2020 maybe even.
And I saw the trailer to this a couple of times, but you just told me today, and I had no idea. This is how out of the loop I am. But I actually thought the game was actually multiplayer, and it's not.
Nope.
I thought it was an MMO.
No, it's not.
Single player story.
It's a single player story.
I'll be damned. Now I'm really interested.
So I was I was shocked. I thought for some reason they'd have a single player mode a simple
mode,
one, but it'd be basically multiplayer. But it doesn't. It's a multiplayer. I mean, it's a single.
It takes place in the 1800s, Hogwarts, really early Hogwarts era, and you basically, depending on what house you are, Slytherin, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. I'm a Slytherin. You can already pre-pick if you do the test on Pottermore or WizardingWorld.com, whatever, and then you link that to your Warner Brothers account, and you're already set in the game as a Slytherin. You also get some in-game rewards if you do that too. But each
do that.
storyline takes about 55 hours, like to complete, like entirely. I think the game, like the main story, is like 20 hours, but then like to complete everything for your character is like 55. So in total, if you want to do one of each house, it's like 220 hours of gameplay.
Jesus
So it's a
Christ.
lot. But I'm probably just gonna stick to Slytherin, and then like as soon as I'm done, like now I
Wait.
have 2 months.
I
Stick to
heard that and it
Slytherin.
rolled right over me. You're a Slytherin?
Yes, I am a Slytherin.
Is that true? That doesn't seem right.
I took the test. Not all Slytherins
know.
are bad.
Uh-huh.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Snape, Sirius Black. They're not bad.
Wait, you took the test?
Yeah.
Hold on. Sirius,
the...
this is how much I suck. Sirius Black's a Slytherin?
Yes.
I'll be damned. He's my favorite character. I should know that. Apparently,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sirius Black was actually my favorite character too. So.
He's
Yeah.
a great character. He's a Slytherin.
Yeah.
I had no freaking clue he's a Slytherin. They never said that in the movies, did they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay, I don't know.
In the House Black.
My kids did that too. I don't know what test they did. They probably found some cheaper version, but
I'm gonna sound like an
they're a
ass if I'm wrong.
Ravenclaw.
Hold on.
And a Slytherin.
I'm
I
gonna.
took a test a couple of months ago. It just said I was an asshole, but so I was like, okay.
That's funny.
Uh,
That would be funny if the hat too. It put everybody's got a real house, and it's like,
Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm
This
wrong.
guy kind of smells.
I'm wrong. So the rest of the Black family is Slytherin, but Sirius Black
Right.
was housed in Gryffindor.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
housed
He's
in
the good
Gryffindor.
guy. He can't be Slytherin.
Okay, Snape is
See, I told you.
Slytherin. He's still a good
but
guy.
Snape was a good guy.
Exactly.
He crossed the line here and there.
Yeah. He
Like
crossed
was,
up, but he crossed the line for a good reason.
Yes,
though. It
he was
wasn't
protecting
just
Harry
the whole
time.
I mean, I get it, but like, I don't know. He seemed like he could have been. It could have gone either way for him. I think it was just how he woke up that morning.
Well, if you take the test on Pottermore, you could like, and you also
So-
can find out your Patronus too, which my Patronus is a
You're
dragonfly.
like possibly a murderer. You're like pretty much the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Savada Kedavra every second I get. You know.
Oh,
You
fine.
done.
Yeah.
But there's
Alright.
actually a little bit of controversy with this game. Just
A reign of controversy.
a
A reign of
smidge.
controversy.
A smidge.
That's all we did there.
Image of controversy. It's like the second time I've done
So
Yeah.
basically, people who are associated with Hogwarts Legacy, people in
So
the what?
how I've seen other YouTubers that have talked about this, but they just said a thing happened. You probably know what the thing is, and that thing has caused kind of a divide.
Correct.
You want to just go with that?
Yes. That thing
I like
happened. The thing with Divide, specifically with the creator of the Harry Potter series
Mhm.
and her opinions. Now people are associating her opinions with people who buy the game, basically saying that if you buy this game, you support this creator, then you hate the community that she hates as well. Or she, said bad things about.
Mhm.
And I just don't agree. I mean, I don't feel like anyone's opinions should take forth in what you do as you're just playing the game. It's not going to stop me from playing the
Yeah.
game.
I feel like if that's what you want to do, then you do what you do. What you do.
It
But
doesn't
don't
mean that
preach-
change my beliefs into someone else's beliefs. I mean,
you could our country. It's like you can protest. That's what you do. If you don't like something, that's fine. But it's an easy win. It's not like the government has done anything to you. It's just it's a person and it's a company. And
absolutely.
if you don't want to support it, you show it by not buying it. And I guess if you
Yeah.
want to encourage others not to, but probably the people you have to explain that to probably weren't going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's simple. I mean, if you're not agreeing with it, just don't play it. A lot of people don't watch Tom Cruise movies because of his beliefs. I don't care. I like Tom Cruise's movies. I watch him because he's a good actor. That's how I do it, and that's how I go. Really, hey,
because
I mean,
of
yeah.
said controversy, I think it's because of said thing that's been going on, it has made Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy one of the most pre-ordered games on Steam.
The
It's-
opposite effect.
Exactly. They kind of screwed themselves over there.
So
I want. It's just go back. Remind me to go back to that. But go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say something I heard recently that, we talked about this when when I was complaining about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And I said, how would you like it if Star Wars did a reboot? And you're like, no, it's not the same. It kind of, or how, basically explain the Star Wars piece and how we disagree with that, but you're okay with Lord of the Rings. You're like, no, that's the same universe. That's worse. And then I said, okay, let's a franchise. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned, I was like, imagine if right here and now, this day and age, Harry Potter decided to reboot the cinematic franchise, and they wiped away the slate clean and started over, recast, new music, new designs, and it was just Harry Potter looks, sounds, and feels, and everything about it's different. It's a new, round 2, rebooted Harry Potter. And it was kind of like, ooh, that's almost that's where I think maybe people understood me. It's like, okay, it's too fresh. I heard they're gonna do that. I got an article sent to me from Trisha, who was on our show like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, that said they're thinking about starting over with Harry Potter or rebooting Harry Potter with a completely new cast, same characters, new cast.
Well, I heard about the Harry Potter series that they want to do on HBO, which kind of goes into that. It's kind of like rebooting it, but I don't know how true that is.
So I don't know
either.
much. I think a Harry Potter series would be great actually, because the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies didn't totally work out. So maybe it's time to
No,
venture
it's
into
not what
that.
it didn't really.
And that's the
for
same
sure.
thing. Again, it's the prequels. It's the Hobbit. It's like you start to go backwards, which is what Fantastic Beasts was, a prequel, and it's like, I get the world. It feels pretty cool, and it feels right, and it looks right, but it doesn't interest us as much because it's not the main characters, right? So it's almost like Harry Potter did the
Yeah.
exact same thing. It had much less success. They're not nearly as revered as Harry Potter films are. Anyway, my point is, if they redo Harry Potter, I thought of why that might be. All right, so last summer I went to New York and took the kids, and we saw the oh god, what's it called? Whatever the Harry Potter Broadway show is.
Oh,
The Cursed Son.
Yeah, the Cursed Child.
Cursed Child.
Which was honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into. I thought in my head it was going to be like a stage version retelling of the movie or movies, maybe put it all into, stretch the time out or condense the time rather. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but it was a straight up sequel to what happened. They're older
Yeah.
and their kids are going to Hogwarts. I was like, it's kind of where 7 leaves off, part 2, which I was like, well, this is cool. And I could see them doing that, and therefore recasting Harry Potter and Hermione and all the main characters, but as older people.
Yeah.
Right? Like now you would get kind of close within like a 5-year range of that, maybe 5 to 10-year range of the actors actually being that appropriate age, but they're still a little far off. So I could see if they did that, maybe that might be acceptable because you're going into a timeline where they're not quite the same.
Yeah.
But it would be like if you made the sequels for Star Wars and then you just recast Han, Luke, and Leia and didn't put them in there, which 20 years ago, that's what actually wanted to happen. I was like, oh, well, they're never going to come back, so we might as well just recast people. And, I'm not even sure in the end if that would have been good, but I think they're going to do that. And I think they're going to do some race bending because in the play, Hermione was African American. I don't know if y'all knew that or not.
I knew that. Yeah.
Okay. And I remember it made a lot of sense the way they kind of described her in the book. She described her as a Caucasian girl. But there was enough. I was like, there's no reason they probably ever couldn't just do a race change like that. And I think Hermione's probably the perfect one to do it with. So I imagine what will happen though is it might feel like a different canon if they do something like that.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, well, this clearly isn't the same. They didn't say this actress is now this actress. That's where I think they'll draw the line. So what will they do? Will they truly reboot it? And it's like, because a reboot, people don't realize that very, very prominent Harry Potter theme, John Williams score, it shouldn't be a part of it if you're going to reboot it like that. It's Lord of the Rings reboot. It should not be the same music. Seems like there was another example. Oh, if they rebooted Star Wars, are you going to want a new score? Like it would be wrong to keep the same score with a reboot. So that's why I'm not a fan of Rings of Power. I'm like, no, it's not even part of the same universe. So I'm not into it.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't look at it as a perfect example. Also, are the 3 different Spider-Mans. You know what I mean? They always go back to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, that kind of universe, that kind of soundtrack. Then you have the Andrew Garfield. Then you have Tom Holland, and they all have all different themes, all different Spider-Man themes. Even the soundtracks are different, and every one of them, like everyone has their favorites, right? And Tobey Maguire will always be in our hearts, like, oh yeah, that was a Spider-Man that I know and I remember. It's the same thing if they did it with Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. What they've done with the show now, it's the same thing. It's not going to
the same.
It's not going to erase what we care about, what we think, what we hold true as what we think is the right story or.
I think I think there's a difference. I think, and you could almost argue superheroes are the next closest thing, but it's pretty common to reboot those. Star Wars has never rebooted. Lord of the Rings just did for the first time. Although it's fairly a newer franchise, but it's got like a very different. It's more like
it's
huge world.
It's a huge it's
gargantuan
world with a lot of information and like
IP. Like Harry Potter is huge. That means they would have to redesign every fucking little thing down to like the wands, again, music. That kind of iconic music is going to be hard to change. Imagine if they ever reboot Star Wars and it's not a Star Wars theme, it's a brand new theme from some composer that's not even born yet.
Like think about like merchandising too. Like when you think of Harry Potter, you think of Harry Potter glasses, Mark. Like it's hard to like think of that being played by somebody else because Harry Potter's Harry Potter, Hermione's Hermione, Ron is Ron. I think it would just be hard to do that.
I think in time it works better because in time you can keep it under the same license, but just you recast people, but you'll keep the same design. A wand looks like the wand from the original verse, and the music sounds the same, stuff like that. But you start doing things like, look at Lord of the Rings. I mean, I haven't even watched it, but the preview's enough to let me know it's like those are different designs. I could tell it's a pretty place and it looks like New Zealand sort of, but that's a different architecture. That's I don't know. I worry, and that franchise is huge. You got the theme park, you've got, like you said, the video games, everything's got like a look and a feel to it that people are comfortable with, and I think you start changing stuff and it's gonna be bad. So if they decide to recast, probably safest they keep it familiar, is all I'm saying. So
I don't think they should recast. I would rather see continuation with their kids. And if they were to go down that route, I'd be cool with it.
I mean, they're all older now. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do it.
I'm pretty sure what I read. I'm gonna see if I can find that article because it was our friend Trish who sent it, and it was me going, shit, I didn't think they were gonna do that, but there it is. Let's see what I could find here. Y'all can keep going if you want. I'm just gonna look for something.
Well, regardless, I'm still excited.
It was it was a John Campia YouTube video. All right, I'll read you the title.
Okay.
Harry Potter reboot with full recasting coming soon rumors. All right. Well,
rumors,
still that rumors sometimes turn into things, and like you said,
you're right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So if it happens, I don't know. You make your own bed, right? Kathleen Kennedy took some chances. Now she's dealing with that. You want to really I think they should listen to the fans. If the vibe is, don't do it then. Figure out what it takes to recast them. I think Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher all came back after enough time, maybe a little too much time. But
I was gonna say, well, look what happened with that. So
maybe a little too much time. But let's not wait 30 years. It's that's learn.
Yeah, they waited too long. Yeah,
learn from when was the last Harry Potter movie? 2015.
2013 or 12, 2011.
2013.
Well, 11 or 12.
All right, so it's been over 10 years now. I'd say give it another 5 years tops, and then the cast might be like, y'all want to make $10 million? I could do that if no one's really hiring me right now. I think it's a perfect time to do it. Like
they had a little HBO special, like a reunion recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they make another.
Where I think they all talk out their ass.
Somebody wasn't invited to that actually, but.
They showed little clips of her 3 years.
The creator was not invited.
She was not invited. They showed interviewed clips of her from 2018, 2017, but not actually present day.
All right, so there you go. So that is an interesting point because the actors may suddenly draw a line and be like, I don't support that anymore. I'm not going to play the character. Bite me. That could happen.
That could
because of that little,
You're right. You're right.
Even though Mark Hamill did like her tweet, I saw. Just saying.
All right. Well, I think we spent a lot more, longer than I thought we just spent
on Harry Potter, right?
Harry Potter.
That was a long time.
But
on Harry Potter.
Keeping in the same theme, when you said the Hogwarts game is actually, what is it? It's because of the backlash. It's the most pre-ordered game.
Pre-ordered game, correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the same can be said about Avatar.
Yep.
Because for many years, I've said this before in past podcasts, that people said this movie was gonna bomb. It was gonna bomb bad. This movie would not make, not even close to the money the first one did. It wouldn't even crack $1 billion. Well, I know we sound like a broken record because we keep reporting this
Yeah.
every podcast, but it's now past The Force Awakens. It
Yep.
is number 4 in the all-time most money-making movies.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's I don't know the number is 2 billion and something, but it's nearing Titanic. So
Damn.
yeah, James Cameron has 3 movies in the $2 billion club. 3 movies
And in the
in
top
five.
4,
Top 5, yeah. Oh yeah, now top
now it's
4,
top
yeah.
4.
Now it's top 4. Can you
Endgame,
believe it?
Endgame feels like a stranger up there.
Yeah.
yeah.
That is insane.
That's
That is
actually
insane.
funny because if he gets to 3 and beats Titanic, he'll boot himself out of the top 3 spots.
Yeah. No,
Because he's not going to get above Endgame. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I still hold true because Endgame got re-released, and at that point is when it passed Avatar.
Yeah. Right.
But then
right.
Avatar just recently released, so it got its money. It got its
money,
number
yeah.
1 back. It's I almost feel like each of them now have done it once. I feel like go back to the original. Avatar won the first time, and it stayed the winner before something else happened. So anyway, Bucky, your eyes are closing.
No, Buck's lagging right now.
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess it's me. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it was funny because I was arguing with someone on Facebook last week.
Smart.
I like this. It's about Avatar, saying that because I put some comments saying that it's funny how they said this movie was gonna bomb and it's basically now at the time it was top 5, and they still won't give James Cameron his
Props.
his due. I mean, look, the man did it. I mean, you can't deny that. And so a guy went arguing and saying, well, it doesn't mean the movie's good. I'm like, well, it means that a lot of people went to go see it more than once. He's like, just because it made over 2 billion doesn't mean a lot of people went to go see it more than once. I'm like, absolutely, it's what it means. So like, are you crazy?
What does it mean then? Yeah.
I mean, he goes, I don't know anyone who would see a movie more than once. I'm like, well, then you're not the proper person to be commenting on this because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it's just funny. It's like, look, you don't like it. Look, a lot of movies that I don't like that, but I don't criticize them. Like, well, yeah, this movie made a lot of money. I don't know why. I can understand most movies that make a lot of money. Like, I guess I understand the fan base behind it, and be like, okay, well, yeah, I can kind of see why it would make that much money. There's a fan base for it.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but I get it. But to criticize something that you particularly don't like and say, oh, everyone's a complete moron if they actually like this movie because the movie has nothing. It's just all special effects and all. It's like, shut the hell up, man. Like, you don't even make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
Am
Well,
I still lagging? I feel like I'm still lagging.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Um,
Avatar killed it. I almost saw it again this week because I heard it's the last week in the big IMAX screen because
Oh, really?
something else is coming up Friday. Something's coming out this week, and they're like, oh, it's gonna boot it. Oh, is it Quantumanium or no?
No, I think
That's
it's
next month.
Knock on the Cabin. It's the M.
Yeah.
Night
What the hell
Shyamalan
is
movie.
that?
Oh,
Oh,
it
it's
looks,
Shyamalan.
It looks good.
Shyamalan.
yeah, it looks like it's like 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse type deal.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looked interesting.
Yeah.
For
Ron
sure,
from Harry
yeah.
Potter's in it.
Yes, she is.
Ah, you
It's
got to
just
roll. Good for
Dave
him.
Bautista.
At this
Yeah.
point, does he look like that gif of the dog with like the giant muscles and stuff? Because he's got buff every movie. That kid was like, "Holy crap, man!"
He
He's
just looks like a normal dude, to be
He looks
honest.
he looks the same, honestly.
He
Yeah.
quit working out. He was getting
Yeah.
bigger every movie. It's like, dude, you got to chill out. You're like roiding up this.
I don't
Harry
think I've
Potter.
ever seen him in anything but Harry Potter. I don't know what movies you've seen him in.
He was in a show, but it got canceled pretty quick.
There's one thing I've got. It's a PlayStation VR game, and he's the lead in it. It's like
Oh.
a sequel to Snatch. Remember the movie with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, I remember.
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and he's the lead. I was like, what the hell is this? It's a VR experience.
Actually, that was the show he was in. It was a show. It was not even one season.
I didn't know it
it
was a show. Okay,
That's
that
what it
explains
was. Yeah. So that's what it was.
So speaking of movies that are doing very well, there's this little thing called the Oscars coming
Yes,
back.
correct.
They bring it back like once a year.
Something like
they
that.
talk
But
about
something like that. Something
yeah,
like that.
once a year.
It's like
It
awards
seems
they
like
give out and stuff.
20 years since I gave a shit because
Yeah.
now I actually have movies I like in the top 10 and movies I want to see that I haven't gotten to yet. So,
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
I'm currently on the mission to watch all the movies that are nominated for Best Picture.
Well, do you have a list right? Can you read them out to me right now? What are nominated for Best Picture?
Let me see. I'll get one right now.
Like, can you like hurry up?
I got
so
you. I got you.
Avatar, Top Gun, everything,
Everywhere,
What's
all
the
at
one?
once.
all at once.
That's still after I've seen like 6 movies now. No,
Is Elvis in there?
Elvis is in there. I've seen
Elvis
5
is in
movies
there, yeah.
now. Everything Everywhere at Once is still my
Damn,
my number
that's
one.
rare. I've seen that many movies.
Top
Well,
Gun, Woman Talking, The Banshees of Inisherin, which is actually I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. Triangles of Sadness, The Fablemans, All Quiet on the Western Front. I just saw that one yesterday. Very good
That's a
film.
remake. It must be a remake because I remember that's an old movie.
All Quiet on the Western Front. It's about World War One.
Yeah, it's an old movie.
And
that was a book. I think it was a book adapted.
It's completely in German, so gotta read subtitles.
Well,
Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis, and Tar. I haven't seen Tar yet.
Top Gun, right? You said Top Gun?
Yeah, it's Top Gun's first one I said.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, wait, Top Gun. Top Gun's in it.
hey.
It won't win, but it's in it.
Yes. And I thought The Whale was nominated with Brandon Fraser, but actually Brandon Fraser is just nominated for Best Actor for the movie. The movie's not actually nominated for Best Picture, but he's nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, I think Best Supporting Actress too in the movie. Whoever was in the movie as well. The actress.
Yes. Oh, she was in the menu too. I forgot. Hold on. Best Supporting Actress. Yeah. Hong Chow. Yeah. Yeah, she did a good job too.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Brandon Fraser, man, for getting back in the game.
Honestly, he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
His performance in The Whale was actually really good. Really good.
You saw The Whale?
I saw The Whale.
Dude, you are impressing me. I cannot believe you're seeing all these movies. You've seen more movies than me.
It was really good. Like, the movie's sad just to be sad, but Brendan Fraser's performance is impressive. It was very good. And let me tell you, if this movie wins for is it nominated for like best costume design or like
makeup,
practical effects and makeup? Because if it is, that movie should win. Because I genuinely thought Brendan Fraser was like 500, 600 pounds. Like, that's what it looked like. Like, it was crazy. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. I heard that he did an amazing job.
He really did. He killed it.
So he didn't pull a Bridget Jones Diary and just like ate a bunch of donuts before the movie?
No, it's a suit.
No, I mean this. You're
right,
completely
I bought
obese.
it. I thought he was. I mean, he is fat though, right now.
Well, right now he's
really.
not in the best shape. He's lost a lot of weight actually. Now he's starting to look a lot better, but he wasn't like obese like that.
No.
Like a 400-pound.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, that he's like huge, like huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm interested now. I gotta check this out.
It's a really good movie. It really is just sad to be sad though. Like it's very sad.
Yeah.
Dang. All right.
Also, All Quiet on the Western Front is also a sad movie as well, but it's all in German, so get ready to read if you want to watch that one too.
That's definitely a remake. That it's got like a 70-year-old movie. That's an old movie.
It was filmed really well.
I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
You know who's in it? The guy who plays Zemo in Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
He's in the movie.
Cool.
He's in the film.
Nice.
He plays one of the negotiators on the German side. So it's really
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Zemo. I don't remember that character.
Baron Zemo.
All right.
From Falcon Winter Soldier. The guy who started Civil War. Yeah.
In Civil War, he was like drowning the one guy, torturing to get information, but then he decided to drown him.
Yes.
Yep.
But the movie's all in German, so it's still really good. And my number one is still Everything Everywhere All at Once. You both have to watch that.
When's the Oscars?
I don't even know.
Sunday?
It's this month. No. I think it's later this month.
This month? I thought it was March.
Cool.
It could be March. You're right. It could be March.
All right. We have a main topic.
Yes, main topic.
Main topic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we finally have. Oh, go ahead.
Those are movies that will not ever be nominated for an Oscar.
True. We finally have an idea of the DC slate that James Gunn has been teasing for a while now.
Sorry.
He finally made his announcement yesterday, and basically for the next 10 years, what to expect and what to get from the DCU. Not DCU anymore. It's DCU. So let me share this video. Let's see if I know how to do this.
Let's see podcasts. Let's see how long it takes to figure out how to stream YouTube video.
We'll say I just saw you boo, but man, you were the guy who did not want Ben Affleck anymore. So it seemed like you were ready to move on.
Listen, but you haven't seen the video yet. I have, unfortunately.
Well, I've seen people converse about it. I haven't seen his video.
Yeah.
Honestly, like 8 out of the 10 stuff he mentions, I couldn't give shit about. It's a little upsetting. So. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, did you start it yet? Okay, no, you didn't.
Not yet. I'm about to start it. Just let me know you guys are ready.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. And action.
Hey, everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios.
So what?
So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love, that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So
Blue Beetle's
Peter and
before
I,
Aquaman 2?
along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos.
What?
Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC.
Is that Weasel?
We're going to have characters move into
I think it's Weasel, yeah.
I think that's
out
Weasel.
of animation.
I'm so
usually
excited
having
to see
the
Weasel
same
again,
actor
guys.
play their voice as who plays them.
From Suicide Squad.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's
Peacemaker
been created
second
by
season,
Chris
really.
Henry,
pretty much.
who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to
Henry
see it.
Cavill did.
Okay. Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
The true beginning.
This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is the story of a couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters.
I couldn't name a single character on that screen.
Superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Paradise Lost is a story of Ellis Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but
I've yet to see anything he said that I don't necessarily dislike.
The introduction of the DCU.
Where's the? I thought it was all about Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne.
No, it doesn't.
Based on
I kind of like this one.
Damian Wayne.
Oh, why?
Is
I don't know why.
Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' most popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology.
So why is he? Why are we making this show about him?
Become a superhero.
I guarantee you. Look at that face. That is Chris Pratt. They're gonna.
That's what they're saying. It's Chris Pratt. Yeah.
One of my favorite
I have not heard
comic book
that yet.
series
That is
from
my
last
first
year
thought.
was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Now this,
so we're
I
going
have
to turn
no
that
interest.
into a big science fiction epic film.
I can't.
Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing
I like
we're going
Swamp
to talk
Thing.
about.
Cool.
A
Swamp Thing-
very
Swamp Thing's
dark
cool.
horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the story.
But it's outside,
Anyway,
so it's
those are the
elsewhere.
stories that I
DC
can tell you about right now.
elsewhere, whatever the
I've
hell he
loved
called
the DC
it.
characters since I was a
Elseworld.
child.
Elseworld.
Which is
They're
that's
incredibly
a comic
important to
line.
me.
That's
I knew that
Elseworlds
this
is
was a
already
once in a
in existence.
lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators
Careful, we go
is
with this.
unique. It's something special.
No, that's not a good
Storytelling
thing.
is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I
don't like the way
appreciate
it's
you
ended
watching.
that.
I hope this was exciting
I
for
was
you
overall
because
fine.
it's
I
really
didn't like how
exciting
he's
for
like
me,
every
and I
director
can't
gets
wait to
their
start to dive into these
different
stories
vision.
with you
No,
guys
that's not
on
how
this
it needs to
grand
be.
adventure. Thank you so much.
Just look at
Hey
Kathleen
everybody, I'm
Kennedy's
James
sequel
Gunn.
trilogy.
I'm the
Bring back Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You didn't bring that up at all. All right.
Yeah. Look,
Thoughts?
here's my problem with the way he's. You're right, Red. A lot of the stuff that he introduced isn't necessarily bad, but I feel it's basically his version of the DC. You know what I mean? Like he's you can tell he's co-writing almost everything. I think he has his hands in everything. I almost feel like he wants to direct everything, even though he can't, but he wants to. So I feel like it's almost just everyone has to be in line of what he wants to do. And I just don't know if all the movies are going to come out are going to have that, are going to feel right for his kind of movie making style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I feel like he made Guardians of the Galaxy, and now he thinks he can do it again like 5 more times. Like with
Yeah.
the
I
DC.
kind of see that. I do
Yeah,
see that.
yeah.
I think. Well,
Yeah.
The Authority. I have never in my life heard of
Yeah.
that, to my knowledge. I'm not gonna lie. I had never in my life heard of Guardians of the Galaxy in about 2012 when it was announced. I was like,
Yeah.
Rocky Raccoon. I remember like explaining to my ex-wife. I was like, I couldn't tell you who these characters are. You know, I had actually heard of Ant-Man. I'd read some Ant-Man comics, but I was like, no idea who these guys are. And at that point, I was like, this is where they're probably going to lose me. I'm going to lose interest. And I was like, oh my God, that was actually one of my favorites. So it could be that way. It could introduce stuff we didn't know about. Let's even go further back. Iron Man. We all know who Iron Man was, but for the longest time, when we thought Marvel, most of what we thought of was like X-Men, not the Avengers. They were like second tier.
Spider-Man,
Marvel
Captain
superheroes.
America.
Spider-Man. Well, even Captain America was like, so corny. Like he was never depicted as a cool character.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was.
But he
Wolverine
was well known. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the Hulk.
Well known, but like you could never
Yeah.
Hulk. There you go. Hulk and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then when the cartoon came out, X-Men became popular.
Wolverine.
But really, if you, yeah, like they made Marvel MCU made fairly less popular characters. I won't say unpopular, but lesser sort of like, bronze or silver medaled superheroes popular. And Batman and Superman were it back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like he might be able to take. I haven't been totally sold on Peacemaker. I watched 3 episodes. And I'm like, I need to get back into that. But you know what? I haven't just found the nerve to do it.
Me neither. I only saw the first 3 too. Yeah.
I kind of want to go. All right, so we had a lot of conversations about what would happen, and he did explain that this is Flashpoint. This is gonna reset it, which is what we all thought. That's what we said. Like, it's the point. We knew that from before James Gunn ever took it over. That's what's gonna happen. So now it's official, and Viola Davis is back though. So that means it's not a reset.
Well, not even that. He didn't say this in the interview, but he has been said that he is open for Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa,
which is crazy,
and Gal Gadot to possibly play their roles again,
which
like
is
to
crazy.
Continue. Which is like, okay, so is it a reboot or not?
Because
why is Henry not back?
Why'd you fire Henry?
Well, he says he never fired Henry. He was never hired, which is bullshit because he's been off and on Superman for the past how many years now?
Well,
so it just doesn't make sense to me.
If they're saying they started with 0 people hired and they start hiring, they hired Gal.
So how is it that Henry came back at the end credit for Black Adam. If he was never really high, the whole thing just smells of weird. I don't get it.
Because that was filmed before James Gunn took over. James Gunn didn't hire Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I know. I guess I know that's what he's saying, but I don't know.
So,
if he's doing a reboot, he should reboot everything, all the
I'm
characters.
with you
Get
there.
rid of Momoa, get rid of Godot. Don't just single-handedly just take out Henry Cavill when he's probably the most fan favorite of the group. You know, It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why? Why get rid of him?
Yeah.
And then from what I hear from the Superman movie, honestly, because it's not a reboot Superman either. It's gonna take place not an origin story. It's gonna take place with him trying to trying to manage him being Kryptonian and being from Earth and how to manage all that. We've seen a story like that hundreds of times. This could have been Man of Steel 2 for God's sakes. This doesn't make any sense. Why can't Henry come back for that? Because he's too old. He doesn't look his age, first of all, and it shouldn't really matter if we still can consider Momoa and Gal Gadot because they're around the same age too.
And honestly, let's be real. Superman, it's okay if he's old to me. Like
it's
older.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's okay if he looks like he's in his 40s if he's in shape. Like he's Superman, not Superboy. You don't need like a 25-year-old playing Superman.
Right, exactly.
So like I guess I've thought about that. Maybe he is gonna bring him back because I thought I saw something where he's potential for the future, but I will not be returning as Superman, I think was what Henry Cavill said when he made his video speech. Maybe they've got plans and they don't want to reveal that right now. Like maybe I think I mentioned he might be Bizarro. Maybe he's gonna come back for Kingdom Come one day, and it's because if it's a multiverse situation, we're going this route. Then that's how that's how Elseworlds exists. It's a multiverse situation. He could show back up again. Didn't we just hear Aquaman? Jason Momoa was very excited a week ago, leaving James Gunn's office. Super excited.
He was.
Well, for what reason do you think that was?
Well, I think they're probably going to plan a Lobo movie, and they've been petitioning him to be Lobo for a while. So he'll be like
Aquaman,
he'll probably be an Elseworld movie
for Lobo,
for Lobo. And it makes sense because he looks like Lobo. I get that, but
you know what though, Momoa, when he was put back in, what was it, The Flash? Like there was a clip of him and Ben Affleck Ben Affleck was coming to Aquaman 2 for a minute. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He got his arm around him.
Right.
He gets excited about that stuff. He posts about it. He probably is not allowed to post about something very exciting. And maybe Gunn said, don't you freaking say anything, but Cavill's coming back. We just can't throw that out there. He's going to show up and be this. He might not be the main Superman we got, but he might come into play just like you are and be something or someone else or a later down the years version of himself or his old, end of the Snyderverse. Like something I think they can't
I get that.
They can't just put all their cards out and it's like, hey, that's everything we got. I think they're holding back enough, including I bet they cast Superman already, but
I'm just upset that he's not the main Superman. That's fine. He's going to come back later for another plot where in the multiverse, he'll be back. But the fact that he's not going to be our main Superman, that's the problem I have because he was never given the chance.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Well, that was Warner Brothers' fault before Gunn got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was.
Like they shit on him and they didn't bring
again. I understand that Gunn wants to reboot everything because it's a mess. Fine, but reboot it. Don't just pick and choose and be unfair to Cavill. It's not right.
And that's why I'm like, I don't see why. He knows how much people like him. Yeah. I hope they just like when they brought Luke Skywalker back for real in The Mandalorian. It's like at some point they got to realize you need to give the fans something of what they want, even if it's a little something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And what I really want to see, honestly, I could move on if not the way I wanted to, but I think I've said this. If they in The Flash give the old DCU characters something of a farewell, just show them in whatever way and say, this universe is splitting up in a million pieces. I'm never seeing you again, but it's been fun. Not in those words, but like, farewell, Diana. Everyone gets to say adios, but then it's like, maybe a couple people get sucked into a world that's like somehow going to tie back in, which to me means anyone can come back at that point, including Henry Cavill, hopefully down the line. I just want to see him, if they're going to bring him back, I want to see him as one of two things. Actually, one of three. I already said it. Bizarro, Kingdom Come, or there's another option I like.
Red Sun.
That would be cool too. I didn't even thought of
Yeah.
that. But I was thinking basically what happens to him in the Snyderverse, where Lois dies and he's evil Superman, not Bizarro, just like evil Superman, and he's like
yeah.
Apocalypse. Like I almost feel like we need some sort of weird continuation of Snyderverse to explain that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think if they start to do what they want, I think he has the opportunity. If they do it right, if they say goodbye to him in Flash, it could be okay, guys. I don't know.
Look, I'll agree with you there. If they do give a proper send off to these characters in the Flash movie, and it kind of like has a little ending, it would feel nice, and I'll be more accepting of what's to come.
It's the only real way.
But maybe we just don't know enough yet, and I'll give you that. But okay, well, let's talk about the Batman movie.
Wait,
Brave
before
and the
then,
Bold.
The Flash is this summer.
Yes.
Thank God. At least it's finally coming out.
Yeah. Well, and everyone's saying it's one of the best superhero movies, like
even James
ever.
Gunn. But
even James Gunn. But yeah,
I mean, they got a gun behind his head. Like, you say what we tell you.
Right. It's true. Yeah.
You're mine. You're ours now.
Yeah.
All right. So the Batman.
So the Batman movie. Now here's the thing, right? There are a lot of cool comic book stories on Batman, right? A lot of stories that a lot of fans would love to see brought to in the main screen, like in real life, like not real life
on the screen, on the big screen.
In the big screen. Yeah. I mean, Batman Beyond was one that I think would be perfect for a Beyond World movie, and I know a lot of fans would love to see a movie like that. Others. Now, I never pictured.
It's just too cyberpunk, though.
This kind of story, though, that I just never. Like, I don't think fans were really screaming for a Batman Robin story, which is it's his son.
Yeah, Damian
He's
Wayne.
10 years old, and he was raised as some kind of
assassin,
assassin, murder. And I just don't know about that. I just, I don't know why these pops in my head, but I think of whiny little Edward Furlong in Terminator 2. That kind of like, you're gonna do what I say. I don't know.
The way he words that film, it's not necessarily. I don't think it's only going to be about that. I think it's
I don't think so either.
An introduction to the Bat family, which is going to be like Red Hood. It's going to be Nightwing. It's going to be.
No, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's the start of it. You got to have Robin to begin with. You can't just bring everyone else in.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously, maybe Damian Wayne is the problem right now. So maybe they might have to bring in the other characters to reflect on Damian Wayne to try to help him grow as a better Robin.
Because they're gonna have to age him a little bit. They're gonna have to age him a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's like 10 years old. I'm like, he has to be at least 14 or 15, please. That's too young.
I mean, all the other Robins are older.
So it could. At this point. What you're saying is, Tom Holland could play him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he could. Now, interesting enough, the fact that he does have a son, 10 years old, maybe a little older, right? Yeah. We're going to be dealing with an older Batman. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what are the chances that Ben Affleck can be back as Batman then, right? I know.
So not like
I saw the John Campio show yesterday. He was saying that. I mean, it's
really,
it's a very small chance, but you never know. He'll direct it.
I hope we get them all back at some point as grizzled old, Tower of Babel storyline or Kingdom Come, I keep saying, but and hell, at that point you get The Rock back in, because Black Adam was a major part of Kingdom Come, if I recall.
Now, what I want to know is who's gonna be the villain. Maybe they could definitely put in Deathstroke this time, because I heard they might use Ben Affleck's script and kind of change it up a little bit, but throw that in there.
Deathstroke could be a good on-screen villain to see.
Oh yeah, we've never seen a villain like Deathstroke with Batman. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
So.
Yeah, the Bat family. Actually, you're right, Marco. I dug that stuff. I think y'all read it. My favorite Batman story was Hush, and it had the whole Bat family.
Yeah,
Hush, and
it was just great. And you could have even, you know what? If it's Damian, come to think about it, this just crossed my mind. We could already have Nightwing in the story.
That's what I'm saying, because
Damian's
the last one, the last Robin.
And then there was, let's see, Jason Todd.
There's Jason Todd, who's Red Hood. Well, no, he's still alive.
Don't you think, though?
Again, there's other Elseworlds, whatever.
Yeah. Don't you think it might be a little confusing just to throw everyone in there without any backstory on any of them whatsoever? I mean, we'll probably think it's cool, but I just feel like I don't know if the general audience is
I
gonna.
think they can't really linger too long on a developing Batman story because people are gonna be like, we've seen Batman's story over and over again.
I get that. I get that. I just feel like if they're gonna introduce Robin, I mean, there's a reason why Robin has not been introduced in the movie for over how many years now? Like
They
since
did it wrong.
Batman and Robin, because they did it wrong. So,
okay, so
maybe
James
the right
Gunn
way
writing,
to do it is to bring them all in at once.
I'm gonna say it. I think because it's like an ensemble. The Bat family isn't a Batman; it's an ensemble.
Yeah,
Gunn's good at those. He's pretty good at those. You got to give him like credit. He's at least, maybe you didn't like this, the Suicide Squad, so it's probably my least favorite. But the Guardians, man, he brought that home. Like,
again, I don't know if the Guardians tone is gonna go good with the Batman.
Not the tone, but I think you're gonna get things like a mixed crowd. You're gonna get the serious one, that's Batman. You're gonna get a little shit, that's gonna be Robin. You're gonna get a goofy ass one. I don't know who that could be, and then there's gonna be like the I guess Batgirl, who's like momming everybody around. That the more as I say that out loud,
Nightwing is gonna be like a big brother. Jason Todd's gonna be like a crazy uncle. Like it's gonna. I don't know. It might.
Why can't I think of the second? Who's the second Robin who died? I can't think.
Jason Todd died? Question mark. But then he came back as Red Hood.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Jason Todd died. Tim Drake was the third Batman. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Tim Drake.
And he's Nightwing, right? No, Dick Grayson's Nightwing.
Dick Grayson's Nightwing.
Dick Grayson. Who's?
Jason Todd was one that died, right?
Jason Todd died,
but he came back as Red Hood.
He came back, yeah.
And then Tim Drake was like Robin for a while, and I think Tim Drake was the main Robin.
The main Robin
after, But then Damian Wayne is like is that a New 52? I think that's more of a newer story than an older. That's not really a classic story.
Yeah.
That his son is Robin. That's a fairly new one.
Yeah, it's a newer one. It's a newer
20
one.
years. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, look, as far as the tone, as long as we don't get a scene where Batman is pulling out his credit card, his own Batman credit card, then it should be fine.
Boy.
Yeah. So the Authority, look, you can tell this is gonna be James Gunn is like thing. He's gonna
do my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna like concentrate on those.
Yeah.
For sure, and put his own like flair into it. Now, he didn't say much about lanterns. That
Lanterns.
Oh yeah, because for a while there was rumors that we're gonna get a show for Green Lanterns, and it's gonna be both of them. That is gonna be awesome. That I can't.
That was come to think of it, when HBO Max was announced, Green Lantern was one of the shows that was coming out. So I guess they're just changing that to
the Lanterns. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably because they have enough pre-production in it. They're like, we're keeping that going. We spent money. We're pushing forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds promising. That's
all there was a show y'all were giving shit about, and I was like, why does that look bad? Paradise Lost. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I just what is that?
I'm not gonna say. I just have my reasons to be like,
oh,
okay.
He said it's Game of Thrones like, so
it can't be that Game of Thrones like. It can't.
We'll see.
I doubt it.
No, I have more of a problem with Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow, whatever.
I got what I felt the vibe you were kind of giving me, but that's already her. They're gonna really emphasize it, I think.
Yeah. So she was raised on a piece of kryptonite.
Yeah, a piece of Krypton, not kryptonite, like a piece of broken planet.
I just see her like in a little edge there. I don't know, like floating in space. Like
this sucks.
Yeah. So I feel like she's gonna come to Earth and she's gonna be all pissy and mad at Superman, and you have the good life. And I was here.
You're the favorite, huh?
Look at you. Yeah. Wow, you're the hero. You're just the hero on this planet, huh? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you know how much I sacrificed? Yeah. So
here.
That's I could be
all right. Fine.
Wrong,
well, you know what? No, you're right. That's how
know.
It's gonna be. But it isn't like that's anything new. That I know y'all don't watch it, but the CW show is the same thing. Superman's a hero. She got there late, but she's taking it a lot better in that show. She's like whatever. It's like I got my thing here.
Swamp Thing. I mean, I've always been a fan of Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, I'm excited for because I have been a fan of Swamp Thing.
But it's in the Elseworld universe thing, so it's not even part of the DCU.
He didn't say Elseworld. He said that
it
kind of detached, but it's not else. He didn't say that.
He said it's outside the DCU. He said outside.
He said outside. That's
what it is.
Which is the category of the Elseworld thing. That's the category.
Anything not in DCU is Elseworld.
Yeah,
because that explains Joker and Batman. It's Elseworld. Get over it.
It's not in the DCU book. Sorry.
Look, I don't know. Until I actually hear him say it's Elseworld, I'm not going to agree with you.
But he did.
I'm
Yeah,
not. No.
You have to put one and
So
one
far,
together.
the only two movies that are Elseworlds the projects that he said were Elseworlds was the Batman and the Joker.
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go.
No, Titans is canceled.
Teen Titans Go.
The cartoon, yeah, the animated series,
Animation games.
Yeah.
So no, I got you put two. He starts out with if it's not in the DCU, that means it's Elseworlds. Y'all got that? He almost said it like you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm moving on. And then he brought back and he said Swamp Thing is not in the DCU.
It's outside the DCU.
Guess what it is? Then it's the only other option he gave us. Why? I don't think why. I'm trying to figure out why that's even a sticking point for you.
I don't know. I guess because it's like I kind of want him to be involved. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I have to see the video again. I don't know.
This is white. It is not this. So therefore, it is.
But he didn't say the words Elseworld. He didn't say that though. So I'm not 100% sure.
But
I think you misunderstood him.
He said Elseworlds is basically every project that is outside of the DCU.
But he didn't specifically say that Swamp Thing was. He just said that it's not connected.
Swamp Thing is outside the DCU.
He said the characters have really been connected.
He didn't give us a third option.
No, he said Swamp Thing is outside the DCU. He said outside.
You're in or you're out.
All right, you guys. Sorry, I don't know. I just feel.
How about
it's a misunderstanding.
How about the Batman 2?
Yes, the Batman 2.
Because it continues. We're getting the Batman 2.
It does. Look, I love the Batman, so I'm excited for it. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Like, it's
believe it or not, I know. Sorry, but believe it or not, I do think the Elseworlds projects will connect eventually to everything else in a multiverse scenario.
I think all they have to say is in Flash, they just have to like say there's going to be other Batmans you'll never see, and it's like, yep, we've seen them already. There's other Jokers out there, but I was about to say something.
Sorry, yeah, the Batman too.
Yeah, even like the Penguin project, I guess that's still going on.
It's still going on. Yeah, I don't think he didn't really say anything about it, but yeah, it's definitely on. The show is going to happen.
So that'll be Elseworlds.
Yes, that's Elseworlds.
Well, he didn't say it, Buck. So I'm surprised you're not questioning that. So let's see.
I was
just
God.
Say something.
This is a family show, right? So.
It wasn't important. It wasn't important. It was the Batman. I watched it 3 times in the theater. I haven't actually watched it since it's been out on home video. But I go to HBO Max, and whenever I'm feeling like whatever, I always go to the scene where it shows he warms up the Batmobile, and I like crank it up.
I love that scene.
I've watched that scene like 5 times, just like that's the best scene.
The Batman got nominated for costume design for Oscars.
Quite cool.
I'll never forget the deleted scene they took out.
For Colin Farrell?
That was the Joker. No, with the Joker. That he's interrogating the Joker, and it had such a nice Silence to the Lambs kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Beautiful scene. I'm like, why did they cut that? I mean, I get it, but it was so good.
It was a good scene. I remember watching that. I'm like, wow, they should have left that in there, man.
Yeah, because it feels like the Joker is not. The way I took it, like I don't think the Joker is gonna really play a big part as a villain in this world. He's gonna be basically he's Hannibal Lecter. He's gonna be the one who's gonna come for advice on like how these psychos think, and that's interesting.
Cool.
I love that.
So cool,
I love that.
And then if he does have his moment, it's like down the line, not the second.
Yeah,
movie.
down the line, exactly.
Like, I want to see it like it all builds up to him. Damn, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I would love that. Yeah.
You know what? I'd love. This is why it's kind
Elseworld.
of exciting to me. It's Elseworld, yeah, it is. That's another thing I was going to say is this Elseworlds. I have this weird feeling people are going to like the Elseworld stories more than the main DCU because as of right now we don't know anything about it, so you never know. But they might cast someone that's already controversial, which is why I don't think they mentioned anything today because it's like they want to spoon feed us one thing at a time. All right, you got that? Swallow that. Next week I'm going to tell you who Superman is because you want some people to accept it and start to look forward to it. And then when they hear, if it's someone they don't like, they'll be like, I guess I have to give it a chance. But if they said it all at once, you'd be like, oh, God, I don't want any of this. You know? That's why I think he held off.
I will say this. It does give the audience a better option with the DCU because Marvel, the MCU, doesn't have that option where, some people going into seeing the MCU universe, it's like, oh, so I have to watch all these movies before I can see this movie because they're all connected.
Yep,
no, man, that's a lot of work. Well, in this scenario, not all movies are connected. So you have Elseworld movies like the Batman movie. All you have to do is just watch that. Oh, wait, do I have to watch all these movies before that? No, you don't. these are separate. It doesn't connect. It doesn't
It's a
matter.
good strategy.
So it is.
That's
It
not
is a
bad.
good strategy.
Yeah, that's okay. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
could be very split feeling though. Like I think the point is he was like everything wants to be together, but if he's making just as many movies on Elseworld and the main focus is like still trying to like gain ground, and all these others like we're on our third sequel and a show spinoff over here. It's like, well, this is supposed to be the main one. It's supposed to be this big, and the other ones are like little side jobs, you know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's kind of working backwards here, but I guess it's because they couldn't help it. They were already making these movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
As someone who wasn't a huge supporter of DC, it's gonna take a lot for I have to really see it to believe it. Like it's gonna take a lot for me to
it's one of those things where we have to really see how it starts off,
because the Flash, everyone's saying Flash one of the best superhero movies. They're really putting it up there, and if it doesn't reach where they're putting it, I don't know if it's gonna hook me back.
It's the only reason I think Ezra is still up in the air, because they want to see how this movie performs. If he performs good, I tell you, it might be possible he might come back.
That's crazy to me.
If he comes back,
that's crazy.
Even if he comes back for like a minor thing, because they can introduce a new Flash, and then Barry Allen. Maybe they can. What's the name of the other Flash? There's like Barry Allen's like the original one, but there's another one. Can't even remember. Anyway,
shoot. Dang it, I
Wally,
can't remember.
Is that the
Wally West? One? No, that's Daredevil. Not Daredevil. Deadpool. No, hold on.
No, Wally is I think the Kid Flash or whatever his little sidekick buddy is, but he might become Flash later. I don't know Flash enough. Anyway, if Ezra comes back as more like a pop in pop out cameo, I think then Cavill has potential too. I wouldn't throw him out all the way.
Look, I'm pretty sure Cavill will show up at some
Wally West. Some point. It is Wally
West.
But
my problem was that he's not going to be our main Superman. That's my issue.
Well, that was I got over that already, like a month or two ago.
I accepted it when I found out that I thought everyone was going to be rebooted, but that might not be the case. So that's what has me up in the air.
I'm hoping it's more like there's multiple versions of everybody. They just need to call this thing Earth 2. The whole thing should just be like it's another version, and occasionally in Earth 2 you see the original ones pop in and out. Well, we don't know.
Actually, it was confirmed that the Batman takes place on Earth 2.
The Batman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, really? That was confirmed recently?
Well, that was before James Gunn, so I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, that's gone.
That's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
So I don't know.
He gone. You know what it reminds me of? I'm sorry to say I've not played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know where it falls. But I remember at one point they wrote a Zelda timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
are you familiar with this? And at one point I was comparing Star Wars to that, saying you could stop right here at Return of the Jedi and be perfectly happy. But if you want to gamble, you can go down the sequels path, or you could stop at Return of the Jedi and never go back to the prequels and say those never existed.
For the Ocarina of Time, like the 3.
Yeah, so in Zelda, they made a cool story where it's like one or two basic 3 games, like Skyward Sword at that time was the first one, then something else, then Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, Link either wins or loses. Mm-hmm. And if he defeats Ganon, then this whole other timeline starts.
Whole other series of games, yeah.
Yeah, which is like, this is a Super Nintendo game, the original game, or whatever. Excuse me. If he loses, it's Majora's Mask and all these titles. I almost feel like they should do that, and maybe even put it like at the opening DC logo, like, have like almost a flow chart, but a really cool graphic one, and hone in on which part we're about to watch. Like this is Elseworlds over here, or if we zoom into like the core, this is the main DC storyline.
Yeah.
Just to kind of explain to the general audience. So wait, Batman is over here, but over there he's the Twilight guy, and
Yeah, there's a lot of Batmans, I tell you. And then, not to mention, again, I have a feeling that if The Flash does well, because Michael Keaton's Batman is in there, and he plays a pretty big part in that movie. If that movie does well,
dude, we can have
guessing
Michael Keaton come back.
Michael Keaton come back. I'm telling you, and I feel like that would propel the idea of doing what do you call it? The Batman movie I was talking about earlier, Batman Beyond, with him in it, an Elseworld movie with him. Yes, why not?
Because I just figured it out. That could be the Brave and the Bold Batman. It could be old ass Batman. It could be Michael Keaton's Batman.
He's too old. Are you kidding me? He's like almost 70. To have a 10-year-old kid, come on, doesn't make any sense.
Everyone, that Bat family totally takes over anyway. it's Batman goes down, and then they got the new
I mean,
Batman up here.
it's possible, but I don't know. I think he'd be too old.
Here's the thing with Batman Beyond: it's not cyberpunk. That's the cyberpunk world in the.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if it takes place in Elseworld, it could be Michael Keaton playing Batman, but different
in
Batman,
Elseworld.
just him playing it. Yeah,
Not in the main.
not
DCU.
connected. Yeah, it
We'll
wouldn't
have
be the main. It wouldn't make
two
sense.
Batman Elseworlds going on.
Well,
Yeah.
but Batman Beyond
Jeez.
isn't even Bruce Wayne. It's not, right?
No, well, Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he's the one who actually mentors the new Batman. He's old. He's like,
Actually, I can't think of his name, but who is Batman in Batman?
I
Terrence-
forgot. Yeah,
Terrence
something
McGinnis.
McGinnis. Yeah,
McGinnis.
totally different guy.
Yeah.
I only knew that from, was it Return of the Joker? Like the first Batman Beyond movie. It was really good. I used to have the DVD.
Look, it would be cool because I mean, Batman Beyond does have kind of like a flair of Blade Runner kind of into it. It's a cool.
Not a flare. It's cyberpunk. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
high-tech,
It's
like
right.
flying cars and shit like that.
It would be
Well,
awesome.
It's just too
We're
far.
setting so much expectations from just a few
Yeah.
announcements
Well,
that James Gunn has.
And let's not
announced, you know.
forget what he showed us. That's 8 to 10 years, so it's gonna be a while before this thing warms up enough to even get going.
You know what sucks? I'm gonna be probably in my mid-50s by the time like the second phase hits, and we're all getting going. I'm gonna be like, oh
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
Is James Gunn gonna go from white hair to like dying in another color? I mean, what do you do after white?
When Henry Cavill finally makes his return, I'm gonna be like, you look familiar. Superman? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. Watch.
All the kids are gonna be like, he's like old Superman from like a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like the littlest things make me feel so old now. Like I was at the AT&T the other day. My girlfriend was getting a new cell phone, right? And
At the
She would-
AT&T. the
yeah,
other day.
it's
I was at the AT&T. You even said it. I was at the AT&T. Like a
you see,
grandpa.
it's starting. I
I
know
was
it's
at the
scary.
AT&T.
I
After,
need a new
first,
phone line.
right
It's
after church,
starting,
we
I
hit
know.
up Crackle Barrel, and at Crackle Barrel, I realized my phone doesn't work. It's got a cable still. Where's the AT&T?
Stop! I can't tell the story though. Jesus Christ!
That's all we need to hear.
That was awesome.
I was so old, I forgot.
We were in
my
a
keys in the car.
conversation about like how kids now have cell phones in schools, right? And they're like, man, yeah. When the girl who's selling us the phones, are like, man, yeah. Back in my day, we didn't have those Nokia phones. We didn't have the smartphones. I'm like, yeah. Well, back in my day, all we had were beepers. And she goes, whoa, oh my gosh, watch out, Grandpa. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I started laughing. I go. Then I turned around. I was like,
Oh, no.
because you realize, like, oh my god, yeah, I'm there. I'm like, that's what they're looking at me as. Like, I mentioned beepers, and they have no idea. Like, oh my god, beepers is like an ancient relic thing
You want to know
that
something?
was like,
You want to know something funny? At my job, I was helping a customer, and they had a beeper. Like they were using a beeper like normally. I'm
Damn.
like,
Coming back
what
like retro TVs.
are you
Yeah, there you go.
doing right now?
There
He's
you
like,
go.
yeah, I work in a hospital. We use beepers all the time. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
they kind of do, yeah.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
funny when shit comes back because I caught these people, they didn't know it was worth something. People are starting to sell these for high value again because it's like, oh shit, I could plug like my old, PS2 up to it.
Hey, I still
Anyway,
have like
yeah.
two
This
of
is
those
fun.
old retro TVs.
yeah.
Oh, okay. You do? Hang on to them. They're worth something. All right. Guys, I think we covered it.
I think we do. I think
They're
we do.
pretty
It's an
good, yeah.
excellent way to end our podcast about multiple
yeah.
topics in DC.
I'm gonna go to the
Multiple verses.
AT&Ts tomorrow and
Yeah.
see about my phone.
Yeah. Just make sure you get your vegetable plate first at Cracker Barrel, and
yeah.
you don't want cholesterol.
Oh man.
Sucks to get old. Yep.
Fact. All
Well,
right, guys.
All right. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
All right. Thank you for watching the Worst Fans podcast.
Thank you for watching the worst. I'm sorry, that's right. I'm supposed to wrap it up.
And we'll
Thank you
see
for watching.
guys.
Next week, hopefully, we'll have something new, brand new, and fun to talk about again. So
We'll see.
have a good night, guys.
Adios.
Adios.